I'm Dudu. We've now reached the final methodology within our design system principles. We've already covered how to dig vertically into the core using the 5 whys, and how to horizontally structure our scattered ideas using affinity diagrams. Do you remember when I promised during our 5 whys session that I would introduce a method that encompasses the context of the entire design system? Well, that day is today. We are going to use that very methodology to finalize the philosophy of our design system. Moving beyond the 5 whys and affinity diagrams, let me introduce a methodology that explores both depth and breadth, the golden circle. It is the most effective tool for defining the philosophical why behind your design system. If you want your design system to be more than just a component library, a living guide that reflects your team's values, I highly recommend using it. Let's look past the surface and dive into the essence. Now, there's quite a bit to cover when it comes to the golden circle. To keep it clear, I've divided it into 2 stages. The first stage is philosophical. We define our core essence. The second is practical. We translate that philosophy into concrete design principles. This systematic approach is essential if you want to build a rock-solid foundation for your design system. So shall we dive into our first stage? Now, let's get into the concept of the golden circle. It is an inside-out way of thinking that starts from the essence on the inside and expands outward. Let me explain this in more detail. When building a design system, we often focus solely on what to create. But Simon Sinek's golden circle reminds us that the real priority is why we are doing it. We're going to identify the fundamental reason behind our design system, because ultimately, the starting point of any system isn't the appearance. It's that core question. Why? Let's look at Simon Sinek's classic example. Most companies start with the what. They'll say, we make great computers, and then explain the how, that their design is sleek and user-friendly. But Apple does the exact opposite. They start with the why. We challenge the status quo and think differently. They create beautiful, intuitive products to bring that philosophy to life, and the computer is just the result. That shift, starting from the essence, is the secret to truly moving people. Now, these 3 elements are the core of the golden circle. If we apply this to our design system, we tend to focus most on the what on the outside, things like buttons, fonts, and colors. Since they are visible, it's natural to pay attention to them. But inside that, we have the how. This represents our unique principles and methods, such as why we choose these specific colors or why we establish certain rules. And at the very center, we have the why. It's the fundamental belief about the value this design system provides to our team and our users. Building a design system isn't just about listing components. It's the process of connecting everything, from the what all the way to the why. Why do so many design systems lose their way? It's because they focus too quickly on what to build. They start by building the outer shell, things like buttons and colors. This outside-in approach often misses the most important part, the philosophy. Even if it looks great, a design system without a core will become unstable whenever trends or circumstances change. So, how do we shift our approach? We need to start from the inside, not the outside. We build a solid why at the core and then expand outward step by step. Just changing this order makes your design system significantly more robust and consistent. Starting with the core essence is, after all, the most reliable way to reach your goals without wavering. Do you remember? In our last session, we looked at the 5 whys as a tool for digging vertically into the core essence. That final answer you uncover by going that deep can become the why at the center of the golden circle. By following those vertical questions to the end, we can finally discover the true reason for our design system's existence. Also, the team's ideas that we structured horizontally using the affinity diagram will eventually align toward this why. True synergy is created when scattered thoughts converge into a single philosophy. It's a process where our previous tools merge within the overarching framework of the Golden Circle. During this course, we are actually going to conduct a Golden Circle workshop specifically using the affinity diagram method. Integrating the essence of the Golden Circle into our design system is like equipping our ship with a compass. Market fluctuations and design trends are like waves that can shake us at any time. However, as long as the needle of our compass, the philosophy we've defined, is accurate, we will never lose our way and can continue toward our destination regardless of the circumstances. Now, let's learn how to set that compass, the true guiding point that keeps our design system steady. Now it's time to find our why. But abstract values that exist only in our heads cannot drive real action. From this point on, we're going to gather our team's fragmented thoughts and craft a single North Star statement to guide our design system. The first stage is divergence. I want you to pour out all your thoughts on sticky notes about the value our service can offer to users. There are no right or wrong answers here. The key is to be as honest as possible. Get everything out of your head and onto the board. All right, the first step has begun. The first phase of finding the why at the core of our design system is divergence. This is the time to pour out every thought and value inside your team's heads. Don't worry about finding the right answer yet. The key is to simply get every fragment of our service out in the open. When starting this divergence phase, the questions you ask your team must be very clear. Ask yourselves, what is the ultimate value our service provides to our users? Write down every word and sentence that comes to mind without filtering anything out. If you draw on what we learned during the 5 Whys session, you'll be able to come up with much deeper, more meaningful answers. Here is a quick tip for you. Don't just write down simple nouns like speed or convenience. Instead, try using verbs to describe what our service creates for the user or how it transforms their experience. Verbs carry energy. They provide a much stronger foundation when we eventually define our why for the design system. The most critical rule during this divergence phase is absolute freedom from criticism. Even if an idea sounds wild, it's completely fine. Those individual fragments will eventually come together to form the puzzle of our core philosophy. Focus only on sharing as many ideas as possible, as honestly as you can. This is the very first step toward building a living design system. Is the board now filled with your thoughts? These countless sticky notes are the raw materials for our design system. It might look a bit chaotic right now, but don't worry. In our next session, we'll use affinity diagrams to group these fragments and extract that one core philosophy, shining like a gem. Now let's move on to the convergence phase. All right, it's time to organize the thoughts we just poured out. Let's bring back the affinity diagram method we covered in our last session. We're going to group similar keywords and pick out the core verbs that truly resonate with our team. These are the raw materials we've been looking for. Now that the divergence is over, it's time for convergence. Those sticky notes are just a sea of information if left as they are. Now is the time to structure these fragments and uncover truly meaningful patterns. Use the affinity diagrams we learned last time to group similar thoughts together. This process is essential for finally aligning our team's fragmented ideas. The key to an affinity diagram is finding those common threads. We're looking for the hidden desires or goals shared among the team's diverse thoughts. As you start grouping similar ideas, you'll be surprised to see a major common theme emerge. It's that exact moment when your scattered opinions finally coalesce into a single cohesive narrative. Now that the grouping is complete, it's time to identify the core values that represent each group. As I emphasized last time, focus on the verbs. Select one key verb for each group that captures the energy our system intends to bring to the user's life. Remember, verbs express our team's intent far more powerfully than simple nouns, don't they? Are you having trouble choosing because there are so many core values? In that case, take a vote. Democratic decision-making creates a powerful consensus on our team's future direction. The value that resonates with the most people becomes the primary promise our design system must keep. Only a priority agreed upon by everyone can keep the system steady as we move forward with the build. We have now gathered all the ingredients to define the philosophy of our design system. By combining the verbs and core values we've extracted, we can finally complete the statement we've been searching for. Let's go build that North Star, the unique philosophy we must establish before we even think about visuals. Now, let's move to the final stage of refining it into an actual statement. Now for the final piece of the puzzle. Combine the core keywords you've selected to complete your statement. It should follow this format. We provide value to our users through action. Once this statement is formed, the innermost circle of the golden circle, the why, is finally complete. This is the core value of our design system. Now it's time to finalize our statement. If you look at the screen, you'll see a simple formula. We create value through action. Insert the core verbs and values we selected earlier into this structure. This formula helps us organize exactly how we will achieve our outcomes. This single completed sentence will become the reason for our design system's existence and the standard for all our future decisions. Let's fill in the blanks and declare our own why together. When we plug our ideas into the formula, we get a sentence like this. We simplify complexity to create services that anyone can experience intuitively. Our core verb, simplify, anchors the sentence, and our goal of an intuitive experience becomes clear. Now that we have this statement, we have a benchmark to ask ourselves whenever we create a single button. Is this truly simple and intuitive? Shall we test if the sentence we just created actually has power? From now on, use this statement as a filter whenever you face a tough decision at work. For example, when you're debating whether to add more features or keep things minimal, apply our statement. If we use our standard, we simplify complexity to create services, and adding a feature only increases complexity, what's the answer? It's a clear no. This statement isn't just a slogan. It will be the most powerful tool for determining the direction our system should take. This statement is a promise from our entire team. When the reason for the system's existence is clear, team members no longer need to ask, why are we designing it this way? The philosophy itself becomes the standard. And with that, the innermost circle of the golden circle, the why, is finally complete. We've now wrapped up the first stage, finding the why, the deepest core of the golden circle. Through brainstorming and grouping countless ideas, we've successfully defined the reason for our design system's existence in a single sentence. This statement is more than just a declaration. It will serve as the guiding standard to protect our design consistency whenever we face dilemmas in the future. Now that we've planted our essential roots, let's move on to the next stage to see how we can grow from here and bear real fruit. I'm Dudu.